bring in Nick Wright, host of First Things First, afternoons on Fox Sports 1, also host of What's Right with Nick Wright on iTunes and YouTube. How you doing, Nick?
Well, I'd be doing a little better if Fritzy, actually gave you what I told him to introduce me as. He gave you most of it.
Oh, boy.
Or you just self-edited. Host of First Things First, America's most beloved sports television show, afternoons on FS1, and the rest.
He did send me that.
I did. I included that, Fritz.
He absolutely sent me that.
You specifically said, what do you want him to introduce you as? And I included that line, and it's not there.
I thought he was being cute and facetious and playful, and like he didn't actually want me to have you say that. That's why I took that part out.
Oh, we're going to get serious now when Nick Wright's on the show?
I learned my lesson
now
yet
we
again.
have journalistic standards here?
My intro was a commentary on rock music from 24 years ago, and now all of a sudden I was just trying to get in the archives America's most respected broadcaster calling my television show America's most beloved, and it would live forever. Oh. And Fritzy robbed me of that. So thanks for that, man.
I apologize. I did choose to edit that out, thinking he was just being cute with that.
Well, Fritzy is a journalist. I will say that.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Okay. So the tattoo that you got, never a doubt.
Yeah, there it is on camera.
All right.
Kind of awkwardly showing. What's the problem?
All right. So did you have to run this by the home office there?
Home office? Like the
your
Fox
wife.
Sports?
No.
Oh, my wife.
No. Your wife.
Well, Dan, I'm nothing if not brilliant. and the thing about having a tattoo that says never a doubt is it is subject to interpretation. And so I come home with it and my wife sees it initially. What's that? It's about you and me, baby.
That's what I
never
brought
a
up.
Doubt.
I brought that up last hour. You spin it. Yeah.
Never a doubt.
Yeah.
What's it? And what if, as some of your listeners have, posited, what if one day, a more successful, handsome, older broadcaster steals her away from me? Now I have never a doubt on my arm. What is it about then? Well, then it's about my career, my professional path. And when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, the 20-0 part gets lost in the ether. And it's like, hey, you know who had a doubt? Not this guy, never a doubt. So as is the case, either with myself or my beloved Kansas City Chiefs, just can't lose. Even when they lose, they can't lose. Everyone's like, oh, Nick, how do you feel about the Chiefs? I don't know. Better than Bengals fans feel. Better than the Bills fans feel, who are finally catching up to what I've been saying about Josh Allen. Ravens fans feel great about that new passing game. How do Steelers fans feel? Chargers still the Chargers. Broncos look like Nat Hackett had incorporated Sean Payton's body. That's the same team. 10 penalties, 16 points. I'm feeling great. Absolutely fantastic.
If you felt that great about the Chiefs, you should have put 20-0.
What am I going to say to my wife then?
Well, exactly. That's why.
What am I going to say?
I mean, you're talking a big game there. 20-0 would have stood for something that truly meant you believed in the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I mean, a man has his limits, and also it's a contact sport, and things like Travis Kelce's knee and Chris Jones' knucklehead agents can get in the way of things. But I feel very good. I feel very good right now.
How do you feel about playing in Jacksonville against the new and improved Jaguars?
Revenge game. Revenge game. They maimed Patrick Mahomes, one of the dirtiest plays in modern sports history. And so my AFC Championship game pick is Chiefs-Jags. I think the Jags are going to have a top 4 offense. I would have picked Trevor Lawrence to win league MVP, but because I had predicted that one of the teams was going to literally go undefeated, that typically would get an MVP. But I think they win that game, and I think they're going to be just fine. Here is an actual earnest opinion that I know people is going to say is crazy, but I'm right. Despite the loss, the Chiefs have more reasons for optimism after that Lions game than had they won the game 38-35. We know the offense is going to be good because it's always good. Oh, what about without Tyreek Hill? They didn't have him last year. They most points, most yards, won Super Bowl. The question for this Chiefs team is, when you play 7 rookies last year on defense, how good can the defense be? And I thought the defense, without Chris Jones, without their big free agent acquisition, Charles Omenihu, who's suspended for another 5 games, looked really damn good against a good offense and a great offensive line in Detroit. So I feel I am confident that this should be the best defense the Chiefs have had since Mahomes has been there, which is why I thought they were going to go 20-0. But even though that's dead, I feel really good about it. So I think they go to Jacksonville and win. And I think I'd get this tattoo, but it'd be too, kind of arduous and long. I think that they're going to be 7-1 when they face the Miami Dolphins in what'll be a massive football game right before the Chiefs bye.
You still have the Jets going to the AFC title game?
I said Jags.
Jags.
I had Chiefs Jags. I'm
okay.
saying I picked Chiefs Jags before the year. I had the Jets before the year, finishing last in the AFC East. And it's a weird thing with the Jets, Dan, because of the type of injury, and I think all of us wanting to show respect to Rodgers and feel terribly about the gravity of it, I don't think there was enough time spent on the fact that Aaron Rodgers getting dinged, not a torn Achilles, but a high ankle sprain or something, was always the concern for a team that addressed everything but their offensive line. And now nobody thought it would last 4 games, but I thought that this was a potential outcome from the very beginning, especially when your right tackle hadn't played in 2 years and your left tackle is Aaron's age. Like, that was a recipe for disaster from the beginning, unfortunately.
We're talking to Nick Wright, host of First Things First, afternoons on Fox Sports 1. What's the official introduction there, Todd?
I deleted the text, but it had to do with the most watched, awesome, incredible
Most
show.
watched, I don't lie. Pardon the interruption, which gets none of the sports media pundits talk about PTI's ratings. They just get, the most views for 25 years. Nobody cares. Not a lot of viral clips. We're not the most watched. We're the most beloved. And you know how I can prove that? Because it's a feeling. It's in the air. You walk through the city and you're like, you know what? They love us. Show me.
It can't be debunked.
It can't be debunked.
Can't be debunked.
Exactly. It's like calling Dan Patrick America's handsomest sportscaster. You just have the feeling, and no one can prove it's not true. Joel Klatt might have something to say about it, but I don't know what.
No, I was going to say, you're not the only person in your house who would probably agree with that.
Okay, that's okay. My house gets smaller by 1 today, Dan. I was going to ask you about this off the air, do it on the air. In 10 hours, I drive to the airport, take my daughter to college. I'm in a bit of emotional shambles about this situation.
Okay, here's the thing. You want to show confidence in her. You show confidence in her by not being emotional. Like, you're going to miss her. You love her. I'm going to come and see you. I wouldn't dump her off curbside. I would walk her, as far as you could, but you'll show confidence in her by your emotions and your reaction. Because you might think, oh my God, she's going to be like, Dad, it'll be okay. Like, don't cry. You're going to be like, hey, I can't wait to hear what it's like first week or so. And I'm going to come and visit you. Make sure you stay in touch. What do you think?
That is, Dan, exceptional advice. And I genuinely appreciate it.
Good.
That is great advice that can only come from a much, much, much older person than I am.
Yeah.
That has been through it and understands these circumstances. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. The NBA policies, load management.
Yeah.
How do we? I'm still trying to figure this out. How does this work? Where you're going to say you got to play, or an independent doctor is going to look at somebody, or can I play for 3 minutes and then sit down? Do I meet the requirements of this is challenging to say to the team, you got to make your players play.
It is challenging. I'm not so concerned about all right, I'll play for 3 minutes and then sit down, because the players will hate that because it wrecks your numbers. Like, that's always been the thing. Like, oh, just check in, then go out. Well, then you get zeros across the board and it hurts your averages and everything. So I think players will push back against that. So I don't think that'll be so much of a concern. Here's the thing. There is not a perfect fix here, but we have right now diametrically opposed incentives. Teams believe that their number one goal is to have their players as healthy, rested, and available as possible for the postseason. That actually is not the number one goal. The number one goal is make sure the NBA stays incredibly popular, incredibly profitable, and incredibly highly rated. Everyone complaining like, oh, you're going to make special rules for the nationally televised games. You're damn straight. That's what pays the bills. And that's the reason. I think I've said this to you before. I'll make the point again. There is nothing inherent about basketball that makes it more valuable than Frisbee golf. But the reason the best basketball players in the world make $60 million and the best Frisbee golf players in the world have a regular job is because the American public values with our eyes and time one more than the other. When you have things that are happening that are making the American public turn away, you have to fix it. And so I don't think it is. I don't think, I hate to come on and be like, there is no perfect solution. I don't think there is a perfect solution. But I think you have to step in the direction of having the television and in-stadium product better than what it's been the last few years. So I give the league credit on that regard.
And the other thing that is sort of lingering there, like there's two things. Joel Embiid at some point has to look around and go, what am I doing here? And Giannis has to look around at that roster and go, these guys are all in their 30s.
Old.
Like, what am I doing here? Which one is more likely to be on a different team sooner?
Okay. So I think it is almost a certainty that Giannis leaves, but I don't think it'll be early. I think Giannis will finish the last 2 years of his contract, maybe win another title, and then leave. Like if you're Milwaukee, you did the right thing. You went all in on the best player in the league to win a title, but there's a cost to that. You went all in on veteran players who have gotten older because you've been so good. You haven't been able to draft great players. That's the cost. Embiid, I think there is a chance he stays, but if he doesn't, he's gone in a year. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's any chance Giannis is gone a year from now.
No.
I think there's a real chance I think it's almost a certainty Giannis is gone in 2 years, and he's being open about this, and it's his right. Like, he's not wrong that I've done everything right for Milwaukee. I think they could win the title, and it could be the right decision for him to eventually leave. Embiid, you have to see what return they get for Harden, and they will get something at some point. And then for Embiid, who I like a lot, then Embiid has to actually have a playoff run where he's awesome. That hasn't happened. And he is now there's only 4 MVPs in league history that never made an NBA finals. Actually 3 now. Embiid, Nash, Rose. I might be leaving one out, but I don't think I am. Embiid's the only one who's never made a conference finals. So he at some point has to take some ownership of this as well. Good
to talk to you.
Yeah.
Hope everything's good. Todd, do you have the official title of his shows?
The most beloved show on not only FS1, but anywhere in the sports industry.
How's that?
Yeah. America's most beloved sports television show. 7 words. It's very easy. And maybe you should get that tattooed. By the way, I'm still waiting for your dinner response. I owe you a dinner. I asked you if we could do it. Dan responded with a smile emoji. Yeah. Dan responded to a question with a smile emoji. That's not an answer.
Yeah, Seton.
Welcome to the club, Nick.
Yeah.
That's how Dan communicates.
But if it was,
at least you got a smile emoji, not just the letter K.
But if it's a smile, that means I'm up for it. If it's a frown, that means I'm not. So
no, that's true.
I mean,
you know what? It was a good step.
But
I have to put public pressure on you in order to make this happen. That's all. All right.
Next time the Chiefs lose, then we'll go to dinner and I'll pick up your spirits.
So in 2 years. I mean, come on.
Oh,
Goodbye.
They're going undefeated the rest of the year?
19-1. Did you not see that part of the tattoo? See ya. Bye.
Thank you, bud. That's Nick Wright. He's popular. He's beloved. He's a lot of things there. And he's got a tattoo. Never a doubt. All right.